Hey everybody, how we doing today? It is a beautiful Thursday, I think. I think it's Thursday. Fantastic day to have a lot of fun and do some exciting things. So, I hope you all are having a great week. Turn that down. Hope you all are having a fantastic week. I am trying to get stuff done in the garage and thinking about all kinds of new and exciting things in life. Yeah. Hmm. There's a big thing weighing on my head, but we'll talk about that later. Uh, hope it doesn't fall apart like Liberty safes do on this beautiful day. How's that for fantastic news? Well, I hope you all are doing great. I am trying to get stuff done and trying to get rifles built and ammunition made, and you know how all that goes. It's just fun and exciting, and you just can't have a better time than that. So, what do we got on the plans for this week? Trying to think. We got our Siamese Mauser action back for 7.62 by 54R, and that looks like it'll be just a beautiful little rifle. Cannot wait to get that done. That one I forgot to order a stock for, so it'll be a while before that one gets done. And yeah, my bad. But I got a video coming out shortly on the action that I picked up. Looks beautiful, and I bet it's going to be a lot of fun to shoot. Oh, let's see here. What else did I play with this week? Oh, my 6.5 Rushmore came back. So I got in contact with a fantastic couple that lives 2.5 hours away from me. And boy, I do not like driving in Colorado anymore. Driving in Colorado is probably one of the worst things on earth. It is really turning into like Los Angeles level of trying to get around the Denver metro area, but it is what it is. So they live about 2.5 hours away, and they do custom ammunition, and it's Colorado custom Colorado custom cartridges, and they do fantastic work. They actually do a lot of old, obsolete ammunition, stuff you just can't find anymore. And in fact, while I was up there, they were doing a handful of 45 long Colt, and yeah, that's they do a lot of really cool stuff. They also do a couple of loads that I shoot. They were working out uh 8 by 50 Austrian Steyr. I've got a couple of rifles chambered in 8 by 50. 8 by 50 is a lot of fun to shoot if you like punishment from a rifle that really shouldn't be as punishing as it is. It is a handful of a rifle to shoot, but I also load 8 by 50R, bunch of stuff. But my 7.62 neck down to 6.5. So basically, it's piggybacking on the idea that the Russians and the Finns had back in the 1970s, making something that was way more accurate, and they used it in the Olympic biathlon shooting competitions. And I believe, if my history is correct, probably not, but if I remember correctly, they only used it for 1 year before all cartridges were outlawed, and they all went to 22 long rifle. So it is a weird cartridge. It's 7.62 by 54R. It's neck down to 6.5, and I think even the Finns played around with a 6.3, but kind of a weird cartridge. I got onto it. My shooting partner, he bought a brand new Tika 6.5 um, competition rifle to shoot Creedmoor over 308 he was shooting, just to get better accuracy and spend more money and stuff like that. I do not like buying brand new rifles. It's not my thing. I'm not a brand new, out of the box, latest and greatest. I much rather build something that's just always been my nature, and it's always been in the back of my head. The 6.5 Russian Olympic cartridge, and it gave me a good opportunity. He switched up from 308. I shoot 7.62 by 54R against him. He bought a 6.5, and I said, "Yeah, it's a good opportunity to go ahead and jump into a 6.5 Russian." So I found a guy who actually brought the cartridge back, and he had chamber reamers made. He makes his own resizing dies, all this stuff, and I found a brand new barrel, brand new stainless, heavy barrel, and said, "Hey, you want to chamber this for me?" And he set up the barrel and the chamber and everything on it. And this is because of me entirely. This project has taken way longer than it should have. I think I started this project like 5 years ago, and it just, it's always on the back burner. It's always kind of, just, it's just something that's always been there and never really got off the ground really. And so I got everything done. I got the rifle built. Everything's sitting there. I got the cases resized, neck down, necks trimmed, because that's very important when you neck down. It adds a lot of thickness to the brass in the neck area. It's a good idea to trim that back down to a nominal spec. So I did all that, and I was kind of stuck with what to load. So I reached out to these guys, and these guys have decades of experience making Wildcat loads and all this stuff. So I just said, "Hey, this is what I got, and I kind of looking for a direction." And they said, "Bring it up to us, and we'll work out whatever it needs." So drove up there, dropped off the rifle. They had a really awesome shop behind their house. Really nice setup. For decades, all they've been doing is custom loads, custom stuff, and really making a good business out of it. So I left the rifle there. It's about 2 months or so. Calls me up and says everything's great, everything's ready to go, and there was a couple of powders that I use regularly that I wanted to keep within. Um, I wanted the load to work out with a couple of powders that I get here locally on a pretty regular basis, and it's nothing exotic. It's I use Varget in a lot of my milsurp loads, and if not Varget, then IMR 4350, and that covers just about everything I shoot or I make. So I said, "Hey, look, obviously, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I don't want something that doesn't work. But if you can get a load that works within one of these two powders, that would be fantastic for me." So they worked out a load, and he actually said he really enjoyed shooting the rifle. One of his buddies came over while he was testing it, and his buddy was shooting it. His buddy really liked it. I don't know how much you can really like a Mosin Nagant, but he really enjoyed shooting the rifle. So I was just like, "That's fantastic." It's set up to be a shooter. I'm really happy that it's a shooter. The one weird thing, the stock, I free floated the stock and bedded the action, and then all of a sudden the stock started touching the barrel again. And him and I talked about it, never really come up with a great conclusion, but except for the fact that it's been very, very wet here in Colorado. Humidity is just unbelievable. It's not like anything Colorado's really experienced in a long, long time. So my only thought was maybe the humidity was getting to the wood. The wood was swelling a little bit. Um, but is what it is. I got it knocked back down. Got it a little more generously free floated than it was before, and everything's fine. Now, the weird thing that happened, so the day I went up there, um, they announced they're retiring. And that is a bummer. I mean, it's great for them. Congratulations for making it to retirement, um, and doing something you enjoy. And um, it really left me really just gnawing on the fact that they're retiring and looking at the world of ammunition right now. And let's face it, ammunition's going to be a problem. I think ammunition's going to be a very big problem coming up in the world. So I pretty much said, is it feasible for me to start manufacturing ammunition? Now, um, I've been making ammunition for myself for, gosh, probably 12 years, 13 years. Um, really enjoy making ammunition. It's really a really easy for me to do, especially when I'm working night shift. I I don't switch my schedule around. Every month I work night shift, so I work a month a day shift, then a month a night shift, then a month a day shift, then a month a night shift, and I've been doing that for 20 years now. And it doesn't get easier. Let me tell you, that type of screwing your schedule around really, really is not good. But when I'm on night shift, I don't change my schedule around. I'm up all night. That's usually when, if I need to make ammunition for myself, that's when I'll make ammunition for myself. And um, really, I'm looking at the world like this. A lot of the European uh, ammunition manufacturers, they're hustling to get ammunition in Europe for, uh, let's just face it, there's an active war in Eastern Europe. We talked about it 2 months ago. The Serbian arms and ammunition export bans, and that's going to be something that it's going to be something that's uh, really a focal point, because let's look at PPU. Now, PPU makes everything, everything on earth. They make 8mm Kurtz. They make 6.5 Carcano. They make 7.7 Japanese. They make everything on earth. Now, PPU also is probably one of the few manufacturers that does make all that stuff. And if conflicts around the world start getting serious, that's going to be a very major problem. Now, other things we've heard is the US has been giving away so much war material that we need to replenish our own military stocks here at home, government wise. And that means a lot of manufacturers put a priority, or they're contracted to put a priority on fulfilling government orders first. That's a bad thing for us hobby shooters. was Jacob Castro. I'd be interested in making brass from scratch. That's an art. That is really, really an art. That takes a lot of machines, a lot of dies, and a lot of skill. Making it from scratch, get a small benchtop lathe, and you're going to have a lot of waste. The reason why they're punched out the way they are is to deal with the waste. There are some companies that make brass one at a time on a lathe. It is very expensive, very time consuming, and the waste is unreal. But without the big stamping presses, uh, yeah, benchtop lathe, making it yourself would be about the only way. I did see while I was up there talking to them, he was showing me handmade brass cases that are designed for um, rim fire. I think it was rim fire 32 caliber, old West stuff, old West stuff. This new brass actually offsets a starter primer for like a starter pistol. Offsets a starter primer in the case. You do have to clock the case in the gun so that it does hit the firing pin, but it offsets it all the way to the side. And it was a really cool piece of brass. They are made one at a time on a lathe, and they are expensive. So, yeah, right now, brass can be had. I can get just about any brass anybody would ever want to shoot. But it's going to come down to who's making all this obsolete ammunition. There's some ammunition that you cannot get, um, like for my 8x50R, there's no ammunition left. There's nothing left. Nobody makes it. Surplus is very, very scarce, very expensive. I've seen it as high as $15 a shot for Austrian 8mm, and I'm sorry, they're just not that collectible to be spending that kind of money. So there are easy ways to make 8x50 brass. You can make it out of 7.62x54R, or you can make it out of Austrian 8x56. 8x56 is brass that is made and available. So you can make cartridges like that, and there is nobody making it. So I look at um like PPU. PPU, I love shooting it. They make fantastic ammunition, absolutely world class ammunition. I shoot it all the time. It is my standard go to. I don't shoot anything else. I've shot Winchester white box. I've shot Remington. I've shot just about everything. Nothing comes close to the quality and the accuracy of PPU. PPU is very good right out of the box. Never had an issue ever. So I always, whenever I see PPU for sale, I can usually pick up PPU very, very inexpensively. And most milsurp stuff, I can get PPU for $1 to $1.25 a round. And I'm very, very happy with everything I get from PPU. One of my last range videos, my 303 P14 infield, broke it in with PPU 303. It is fantastic ammunition. Yeah, I can't say enough good stuff. But with a small local mom and pop ammunition manufacturer retiring, that's going to leave a pretty big hole. And I'm really contemplating if it's um, a good move, because there's a lot of obsolete ammunition that I make. There's a lot of obsolete ammunition that people look for out there and people want to shoot. Right now, there's a lot of Italian Carcanos coming in from Ethiopia that there's very little 6.5 Carcano ammunition to be had. So Also, there's a lot of Old West cartridges that really don't get made anymore. My dad has a 2535 lever action Model 94 Winchester. 2535 has not been made in any decent volume in a very long time. So I got into making ammunition for his 2535. But that's another one. When you can find 2535 ammunition, you're looking at $3 or $4 a round. That is just not, it's just not viable. It's not worth it. So I'm looking at, is it a worthwhile endeavor? I mean, there's a lot of cartridges. If the U.S. starts ramping up ammunition production for government contracts and military use, it obviously cuts into what can be made for civilian use. We already see what's coming. We already know. Nobody needs to continue to bang the drum. We already know what's going to be coming. There's going to be ammunition shortages. It's the same old stuff. But where I live, I can find just about everything I need. I can get just about everything I need. And to me, it really just kind of makes sense. It's something I've been doing for a very long time. Wouldn't say my entire life, but for a good chunk of my life, good third of my life, I've been reloading. It's something I enjoy doing. I've got plenty of time on night shifts and whatnot. I'm pretty proficient at knocking out ammo pretty effectively. So to me, it really just it gnawed at me for a while after hearing that they were retiring. That's really something that I think we're going to miss, and it's an opportunity to really, let's face it, I work a lot. I work a lot of hours, and I'm the sole breadwinner in the family household, and I'm always at work, and it really cuts into my ability to be a parent, to be at home focusing on other things. So something that I can do productively to make a decent chunk of money on the side from home means I don't have to be working as much hours as I can. And let's face it, I'm not getting any younger, and I'm already working, my average is about 70 hours a week. So if I can turn some of that into working from home and making a good living, fulfilling, shooting needs, I see a lot of this ammo going away, and it may not come back for a good long time. I mean, how long has it been since I believe it was Obama banned imported 545 Russian, and 545 Russian is still very, very hard to find here in the US. Very few people are making it. It's a very real thing, and I think it's a very serious thing. And if all the government's going to be making is 308 and 556, who's going to be making all the stuff that everybody else shoots? Who's going to be making the 4570? Who's going to be making the 38 long Colt? Who's going to be making everything else? And I see it as an opportunity to get into a lucrative business. Obviously, I would have to acquire an FFL to make ammunition, which I've resisted getting any type of FFL because I do not like being within the eye of Sauron, if it is a good analogy. I don't like the surprise inspections. Not that I'm a nefarious person or anything, but I'm a very much leave me the fuck alone kind of person. And the government is not a leave me alone kind of government. So there's some ups, there's some downs. I don't know how long it takes to get a firearms license. I know it's a class 6 is strictly an ammunition manufacturing license. Class 7 is firearms and ammunition manufacturer's license. So realistically, I probably go for a class 7 license. But yeah, that's my big thought. I'm really kind of standing here like standing at the crossroads. Is like it's not that big of a it's really not that big of a jump for me. I've got all the equipment. Uh, no license required to make components. I don't believe so. There's probably license requirements for making like powders or primers because they're considered explosives and in certain quantities. But brass is just brass. The bullets are just bullets. To me, I don't see um, any licensing requirement to make brass or bullets. But for most of the stuff that I play with, I can find just about any bullet at any point in time. There's plenty of resources out there. Google's probably the best resource. Just Google what bullet, what manufacturer, and it'll tell you everybody that's got them listed for sale. It's very, very easy to figure out. But just using components that are off the shelf, it would be very, very easy. And like I said, I've got all the equipment to hand load. I've been hand loading for a long, long time. Um, it's just a matter of getting a license to actually manufacture it for selling. So yeah, that's what I'm really I'm really chewing over because I don't it's a big commitment. It is a very big commitment. Obviously jumping in, I'm considering building a 7 PRC, but brass just doesn't seem to be available. Um hmm, 7 PRC brass. I would honestly check out um obviously Midway and Brownells off the top of my head. I would also check Gunbroker. Um, Pretty much, if I can't find a component at Midway or Brownells, I'll hit up Gunbroker, and then if those three are strikeouts, I jump to Google and just Google 7 PRC brass, and it should take you straight to people selling brass. Um, like I said, I've never had a problem. Really, the only problem I've had chasing down brass is for my 300 Imperial Magnum. Um, there's a lot of brass up in Canada, but for some reason you cannot import brass from Canada to the United States, and that is effing retarded. But that aside, um, yeah, I've really never had a problem finding brass. So if those three are strikeouts, choosing a different cartridge. That's a very that's that's always a very strong possibility. I've got all the brass and dies and everything for 7 Imperial Magnum. Someday I want to build a big 7 Imperial Magnum, which is probably a little bit bigger, I believe, case capacity than 7 PRC, but probably not as efficient. 7 PRC and all the PRC line is a very, very efficient setup. So, yeah, try those. Yeah, I'll bet money you will find brass somewhere between those three. or Google. Just throwing it in Google. So good luck with that. Yeah, it's uh it's a very interesting idea, I think. So hold on a second. I'm gonna shut this door to my shop. The sun is just hitting me in the face like crazy. Oh, so much better. So much better. So basically, I need a license. That's basically what it's going to come down to. Is I just need to get off my butt and get a license. So all that aside, they whipped out a load for me in one of my powders that I am using, and I could not be happier. It looks like a perfect loadout. My initial thought was um, my 7.62 54R, my 7.62 NATO. Between the two of those, I have um, the exact same powder, the exact same weight, almost the exact same bullet. Between the 308 being 175 grain, the 54R being 174 grain, they use the exact same. So my brain immediately went to, well, set it up like that. Take the 6.5 Creedmoor and do the exact same load in the 54R. But there's always this thing in reloading: do not guess. Do not take a stab in the dark. Do not use another cartridge's load for this cartridge. So I try to follow the rules. I don't like putting myself or anybody I shoot with in danger. I don't like any of that. And I was told about this resource and I used it. So the loadout should be great. The bullet weight is 150 grain Sierra Match King 6.5. And that looks like it is going to be a great long range bullet for a good long range 6.5. And that makes me happy because I like shooting long range, as long of a range as a 6.5 can be. I believe it's probably still good for about 800 to 1,000 yards. I can't really see a 6.5 going too terribly much further than that. Probably about comparable to a 308. But that's where I'm sitting. I really think it would be a really fun business venture to get into making ammunition. I really do. There's a lot of neat stuff you can do as an ammunition manufacturer. There's a lot of neat stuff to get into, and really, I like challenging myself. I like having fun, and I need to do more of it. So it would also be nice to be my own boss, and it made them a really good living over the last 20 years. It really has. So that's where I'm sitting. I'm happy to get my 6.5 back. I cannot wait to get it out to the range. I think it's going to be a super fun rifle. Also, the 7.62 Siamese Mauser. I think that's going to be fun. Oh, anything chambered in 54R is it's the best time in the world to be had. I don't know why I got into 7.62 by 54R shooting Mosins back when they were dirt cheap. Now they're not cheap, and I still love shooting the hell out of them. It's a good round. It's definitely stood the test of time, I'll tell you that. Even though it is obsolete with a rim. How can you have a cartridge with a rim? It's 2023. Haven't you heard? We need rimless cartridges. Yeah. I don't buy all that cock and bull. But you can't get rim cartridges in a magazine. Tell that to a freaking SVD Dragonov. Actually, just makes engineers actually have to do work. Let's face it, engineers have had it way too lazy for way too long. My dad taught me how to use a slide rule when I was in freaking grade school. Actually taught me a lot of the old engineering tools back when I was a kid. Come on, get off the dang computer. Actually do some work as an engineer. Too many engineers keep clean hands. Engineers should have dirty hands. So, what else is going on? Way too much is going on. Have you heard about this wackadoodle chick in Florida? There's this chick. I think she's trying to primary Tim Scott, Republican. This chick is a complete wackadoodle. Oh, I tell you, the longer you pay attention to politics, the longer you just realize it is a bloody effing dumpster fire. So there's a chick, total complete wackadoo. She got in the news years ago, I guess, because she was taking her 6-year-old daughter to a tanning salon. So now she wants to primary Rick Scott. And her claim to fame is going to be she doesn't believe anybody has the right to a gun. And she loves all those controversial books that are in schools for young children. Okay, I mean, I guess that's a position. Something tells me you're not going very far. But thanks for opening your mouth. That's why I love the First Amendment. I want everybody to talk. I think everybody should be talking. That way I know who the fucking crazy people are in this world. There's definitely not enough talking going on, because every time someone opens their mouth, just another complete crazy person. Make deportation great again. I am 100% on board. Ain't that the truth? If only there was a country that would take somebody that dumb. Probably someplace like, I don't know, Jeffrey Epstein's island. Yeah. By the way, speaking of the guy who totally committed suicide, unalived himself. Sorry, can't say the S word. Totally unalived himself in Minecraft. Any work on that list of clients? Yeah, didn't think so. Canada. Jeez. It's almost like they have enough problems of their own, but I might agree. She might fit in too well. Poor Canada. How far Canada has fallen. My lord. I mean, Canada's always been just a little bit off kilter, but wow, recently it's almost looked like Joe Biden's dream of America. Holy crap. Canada is effing terrible right now. But that's what happens when you have a country with no freedom of speech and no freedoms to defend yourself. I listen to a guy on YouTube quite a bit, Runkle of the Bailey. If you've never watched Runkle of the Bailey, he's a fantastic podcaster. Does great podcasts. He's a lawyer in Canada and he's also a gun advocate. And yeah, they will take away your guns if you tell them they are for self-protection. It's bad enough that you can't even take one outside your house, but dang. Oh, was he on Ricada last night? Oh, man. Dang it. Oh, it's in my queue to watch Ricada last night. Oh, my gosh. I never miss Ricada. I may be late, but I never miss Ricada. Absolutely the best. Absolutely. The king of podcasting right there. I never miss Ricada. He's absolutely the funniest guy, the best guy in the world. And he had Runkle on the Bailey. Runkle of the Bailey on last night. Runkle is fantastic. He's his under the radar humor is just glorious. Just absolutely glorious. Yeah, I catch all the lawyers. I try to watch all the lawyers. Especially Viva and Barnes every Sunday night. Everybody watch Viva and Barnes Sunday night. The 400-year-old elf. It's been a while since we've seen the Pope hat. Yep. So yeah, it's I don't know where the hell we are going. We've got Brandon Herrera running for freaking Congress, and we've got a wackadoodle trying to be a Republican. We all know what it is. She's a bloody Democrat, calling herself a Republican, running under the radar, trying to screw shit up. Why the fuck would you try to screw up Republicans? Republicans are fucking garbage already. What the fuck are you going to screw up? Good God. Oh my God. I don't know what's worse, Joe Biden walking off disrespectfully after giving somebody the Congressional Medal of Honor, or Mitch McConnell freezing up on the podium like he's having a moment. Seriously? That's the best this country's got to offer us? Are you bloody kidding me? Octogenarians running wild, running the country. These are the people that are going to make legislation on AI. My God, are you kidding me? That's what we have? Unbelievable. At least when Mitch goes, we'll have Lindsey Graham. I think my point exactly right. Can we get some people that have, like, I don't know, not retirement age? I believe the average age of someone in Congress is above retirement age. I heard that. I think I heard that last week on some podcast. I'm sorry. That's asinine. They're running both parties. Both parties. The Republican leader's already capitulated and says he wants to just shovel more money out the door next week. Both parties are fucking terrible. Fucking terrible. And I don't know. Can we have somebody that, like, cares about this upcoming generation? Like, my son's turning 18. Daughter who's 16, other son 15. My eldest daughter's 22. The hell are we leaving them? Look at this dumpster fire. My God. Interest rates are just astronomical. Just watching a thing today about Ford trucks. There was a dude visiting a dealership, Ford trucks that are a year and a half, 2 years old. Sticker prices 80, 90, $100,000 with an interest rate like that. No wonder they're not selling. They can't give them away. Nobody wants that shit. Nobody can afford that shit. We're shedding jobs. You know, I was damn lucky. I was damn lucky. I bought my house 20 years ago, right after, 9/11, started slashing interest rates to nothing. Housing costs hadn't caught up yet. And it was really just kind of the perfect time. Um, God, I live in the Denver metro area. It is uneffing livable at the wage that they pay. The Denver metro area is so expensive. Got my house fairly reasonably priced. Stuck at it, chipped away at the interest rate. I've got a phenomenal interest rate right now on my mortgage. And, right about now, everybody's getting pinched with this freaking inflation. Something I would absolutely love is to, refinance, take a little cash out, a little bit of cushion. I don't have any egregious debts. I don't have car payments. I don't have nothing like, I have very little outstretched, very little. But, raising kids, Denver's not cheap. So, having a little nest egg because, we're burning through it. Inflation's a very real thing. It's not good on anybody. Everybody's struggling, my parents are retired. They have been retired. Well, my dad's retired. My mom refuses to quit working. She owns her own business. She refuses to quit working. She works for herself. She's a quilter. She makes custom quilts for people. God, if I never see another sewing machine in my life, I will be happy. You have no idea how happy I will be if I never see another sewing machine in my life. It is, oh, God, the sewing machines I have seen in my life that I've worked on and helped carry throughout her house. My God. But that's what keeps her going. So God bless her. She makes quilts. She loves doing quilts. She, restores old antique quilts. She makes quilts for people. She made me a quilt out of all my old um, degenerate t-shirts from when I was a teenager. So yeah, she's still working. My dad's retired. Ooh, I might know where there's one for sale coming soon. She's talking about retiring next year. She said that for a few years, but she's got 2 large industrial quilting machines. The big, long, bedded, moving head quilting machines. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, it's my mom's still working. My dad's retired. My dad was a rocket scientist. Figure that out. He retired about 10 years ago. Got bored. Now he's building another cabin up in the mountains. We'll hope it's not a Ted Kaczynski thing. I hope. But yeah, he's building a cabin up in the mountains. Scored like 17 acres. Really reasonably priced. Real nice area up in the Rockies. But yeah, they're feeling the inflation bug too. It's a very real thing. It's no BS. My buddy made Tactical Gear. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Machines that do heavy stuff, canvas and stuff like that, those machines can be expensive. In fact, I believe my mother has a leather sewing machine, and I believe it's basically like that to punch through a lot of that heavy canvas. Yeah, good machines, really stout machine. Ain't no plastic crap in those machines. But yeah, I've spent my entire life. Yep. Yeah, I've spent my entire life everywhere I go. One of the things my mother collects is toy sewing machines, or the little single person, like little portable machines from the turn of the century. And like everywhere I go, I'm always spotting these little miniature little cast iron, like hand crank sewing machines everywhere. Oh, it's probably something that's never going to leave me. I'm probably going to spot that stuff for the rest of my life. But yeah, it's no BS. Uh, it's gonna be a wild couple of years, I think. I don't think this is gonna go away anytime soon. I think we're in for a pretty serious long haul. And if I can get into making ammunition, I think that's a good deal. You know, and I'm sure a lot of people out here on the internet would love some ammunition. You know? Do it. Do it. Yep. At this point, it's like 90-10 doing it. There's not much that's stopping me, really. I mean, obviously, I can pass a background check. Government ain't got squat on me. Except I may have voted against a lot of their stuff throughout the years. We'll see if they're secret ballots or if they come back and say, "Oh, you voted for people we don't like." That's going to be a strike against you. Ugh, stupid. Go beg the government to make money and be taxed. Seriously? Sometimes I seriously wonder about this world. Have you ever heard the story of the M1 carbine and how it came about? Actually, it's actually a really funny story. The guy was in prison, and I think if I remember correctly, he murdered somebody, and he was in prison, and the warden allowed him, because of his knowledge of firearms or something, to maintain the prison armory. That's effing crazy. That is certifiably nuts. But this is a different time, so I'm not going to judge too harshly. While he's in prison, um, and working in their maintenance shop and whatnot, he designs the M1 carbine in prison. The warden allowed him to make his ideas and bring them to life. That is bonkers to me. And while in prison, the warden helped him get the guns in front of the US government in military trials. To me, there's a level of insanity in this story that is not can't do that as a free man today. You're damn right. 100%. So now you have to beg. In California, you need to fill out a bloody freaking background check for ammunition. And they let a dude make a machine gun in prison. Wow. My God, how the free have fallen. Un-effing believable. But true. So here we sit, brokenhearted. So, yeah, there's actually a company that I've actually looked into before. It's not the first time I've thought about getting a firearms license. In fact, the first time I thought about getting a firearms license was exactly about 10 years ago. And within a couple of months, I was going through the ugliest divorce outside of Hollywood. So my lawyer said, probably not a good time for that. That'll throw cold water on your shit real fast. And then ever since then, it's just, I work with a couple of really good people that have FFLs. So whatever I need, whatever I want, whatever in the world, call them up. Hey, order me this. Hey, I just bought this on Gunbroker. Watch for it. And I've done so much business with them over the years that it's not even a thing. I had no real need for an FFL. Obviously, someday down the road, I want to open a gun shop, but I don't want to do it in the Denver metro area. That is not a thing I want. Denver metro about 5 or 6 years ago had a rash of people driving vehicles through the front of their buildings and stealing the shit out of all their firearms. And we all know who is doing it. Yeah. They come from down south, way down south. We know who was doing it. But yeah, that's I don't want ain't no people driving through the front of my building. No. So I just threw that idea to the side years and years and years ago. Said, no, I don't need it. Now, I think I do. So there's a resource out there. If any of you have crazy ideas like I do, there's a company called FFL 123. And they lay it out step by step. There's no ambiguity. They lay out everything you're going to go through, everything you're going to need, everything you got to do. Like, they lay it all out there. They make it very, very easy for you to get your license. So, yeah, I was reviewing that the other day because, yep, looks like I'm going there. But I guess one of the nice things is if I stick with kind of obsolete cartridges and kind of the weird things that nobody else does, nobody else wants to do, that's a nice niche. That is a really nice niche to get into. And if all this dries up, I mean, you would not believe how much America depends on European ammunition right now. It's a very real thing. And if that dries up, there's a lot of guns out there that cannot be shot anymore. So that's where I'm at, is freaking get on it, because yeah, someone's got to do it, right? But it'll be nice because I don't want to focus on 9mm. I don't want to focus on 5.56. I do want to make 308 match. There's a couple of 308 um, cartridges out there in the world that are okay. Federal Match Gold is a really, really good um, ammunition, but I think mine are actually better. I think mine are actually better than Federal Gold. So I got a really good recipe for 175 grain match bullets, 308, easily sub MOA. But obviously your mileage varies between rifles, so how do you really claim that, you know? But the nice thing is I make mine one at a time. I don't run a progressive machine. I don't like progressive machines. Um, Run them one at a time, make sure everything's dead accurate, make sure everything's good. And I've got a process down where I can actually make a few hundred rounds, 500 rounds without effort. I've got a really good system here in my shop where I just turn out ammo when I need it for myself, really, really efficiently. Um, ooh, a third MOA out of a 308? Keep that recipe a secret, my friend. That is good. That is really good. How heavy are your bullets? How heavy are the bullets you shoot? Because I shoot just Sierra Match Kings, which I think are higher end of good quality. They're not the best bullets out there, but they're easily available. They make them by the gajillions every day. They're easily available. I don't have to worry about waiting for some special run of some special bullet. 160. Okay, so you're running heavy bullets too. Yeah, I know a lot of people that like to run like the 150s, 145, 155. Um, I'm sorry. I think they fly and are way more accurate when you get into the 168, 175 ish range. I think they're a lot better. Um, God, third MOA. That is that is a very serious punch right there. That is a damn good freaking shot right there. You know, if I were to do a third MOA, it would be entirely luck. Entirely luck. My rifles are old as crap and they're still better than me. But I'm a student. I'm a student, not a professional gunman. I'm a student. I'm learning through all the tricks of shooting. I am not better than any of my Krieger barrels. I have heard Krieger barrels are really, really good. I've got, let's see, my 308 bolt gun is they sell them on Midway. I got it out of Midway. It's one of the better barrel makers. Not not super precision, but very, very good barrels. So yeah, I run let's see here, my 7.62 54R that I just built while breaking the barrel in. I got about 2/3 MOA at 100 yards. And that is the best I have ever gotten out of a 54R. So I think that one has a good chance of being just a fantastic shooter. And I didn't make a special load for that rifle. I'm using the same loadout that I developed for my Mosin Nagant Remington So with a much heavier barrel on that 54R, shooting a load developed for a different barrel, I may try to tweak that a little bit, but hard to find a place where I can shoot past 100 without being elbow to elbow with savages. Yeah, Western Washington. Oh, that's too close to the crazy coast. Oh my gosh. Here in Colorado, my gun club goes out to not gonna lie, that's a sentiment I hear a lot. Uh, where are you gonna buy land at? Buying land is getting expensive. There's a lot of people that want land. So here, my gun club goes to 600 yards. Um, ooh, high power matches at 600 yards. Yeah, my gun club goes to 600. I'm hoping soon. There's another gun club out east of me out on the eastern plains that has 1,000-yard range, and it's about the same drive, about an hour from the house. But no dirt roads, no bouncing down a dirt road. Um, and they've got 1,000-yard range. I've never stretched to 1,000, but it's all math. You know, if you can hit 100 yards, you can hit 200 yards. If you can hit 200, you can hit 400. If you can hit 400, you can stretch to 600. It depends on if you can hit a target. It really, there's no, uh, there's no serious, uh, special anything about it. If you can hit a target, you can walk out. It's not terribly difficult. Like I said, I'm no professional gunman. You know, I'm still learning how to ride a scope just right. You know, I'm very novice at long range shooting, but I did 1,000 on base before we shot M4s. Wow, you hit 1,000 yards with a 5.56? Props, my friend. That is a bullet I would not want to take that far. That is, to my mind, that's, 600 is probably what I would imagine effective range is, unless ammo has gotten so much better over the years. I don't even think we had M4s when I was in the Navy. I think we had Vietnam leftover M16s. Still had the big carrying handle on them. And bullets half the time come out sideways. They were wore out junk. But yeah, I really what is SDM? I don't know that acronym. Yeah, I would have loved to go through sniper course. The practical side. I am not I am not the type of person that would crawl through a forest. Squad designated. Oh, okay. Okay. Kind of like uh the Russian DMRs. Yeah. Um I would love to go through the practical shooting aspect of a sniper course. I'm 6'4". I am not exactly crawling through the forest quietly kind of person. Um, Yeah. Uh, um, yeah, yeah. The whole stalking thing, while it's really like props, 100 times props for that stuff. Like it takes effing skill. Like I watch all the videos and everything on that stuff, and you're talking about some serious skills, serious skills. Um, but yeah, I'd love to learn the more fundamentals of long range. I've gone through. If you've not seen, uh, what is it, Tiberisaurus Rex, Rex reviews on YouTube. He's got a whole thing on the fundamentals of shooting and yada 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 yada, and it is like there's some serious study involved in that stuff. I am way below that, way below. I can get on target and I can dial a scope in, and I know the basics of the fundamentals of running a scope. All of the intricacies, totally lost, totally lost. But he actually had a video a few weeks ago, which was crazy to watch. It was absolutely insane to watch. He broke down the longest recorded sniper hit in history, which was in Iraq, I believe. I believe it was a Canadian sniper at 2.2 miles or something like that. And he broke down all the mechanics of how the F to do that. And it's impressive. It's very, very impressive. So, yeah, that's the fundamentals of shooting thing is something I would love to dive deeper into. And it's always really fascinating to see how they do all this, because there's a lot of science in the shooting. There's a lot of science you got to know, especially when you start stretching out. I've stretched to 600, and that's still below a lot of the technical sciences, or you get into spin drift or Coriolis effect or anything like that. 600 is still in uh, the basics shooting, where if you can hit a target, you can smack it. 1,000 is when you start getting into some math, from what I understand. Um, and I've only got probably one rifle that would actually be efficient and effective to 1,000. And that's the 338 Lapua, um, which is really a crazy little rifle. I think it's the only rifle I've ever bought brand new. Um, but everything else, like 308, is technically about 800 yards max effective range. um, Once you drop out of supersonic, you can get cattywampus. But that's not to say you can't hit anything over 800 yards. I mean, shoot, uh, there was a sniper who had a really famous hit. I think it was in Iraq, at like 1,700 yards with a 308. And even he said, you know, he was aiming to just discourage the guy from standing out there and shooting, and he popped him on the first shot. And he's like, "Oop, okay, I'll take it." Yeah, that is stretching a 308. Like that is, I mean, just Hail Mary pass on a 308. I think now, if I'm not mistaken, now they've upgraded, pretty much given up on the 308, and I believe now they're running 300 Win Mag as the basic um, uh, sniper rifle cartridge. I understand the flat base bullets make it through transonic better. You give up the BC. Yeah, that's again, that's getting into the science. I don't know. All the bullets I shoot are all boat tails. The bow tails do give you a much better BC, and they fly much better. I don't even think I have any flat base bullets for anything right now. Just because everything I always load up high BC stuff, and like I said, furthest I can stretch right now is 600. So I'm not even dipping my toes into the science of shooting that far. But that is damn impressive. You did that with friggin' 5.56. Yeah, yeah. Right now, I avoid it because I don't have the ability. But if I had the ability, I'd probably be lobbing something out there just to see what happens. I mean, let's face it. You know, that's what guys do. I have a bullet. I'm gonna lob it really far. Whoop. Yep. So, hey, Treetop Garage, how are you doing, brother? Oh, if anybody hasn't been to Treetop Garage channel, go check out Treetop Garage. Oh, building one heck of a Studebaker. Oh, nice little gasser. Need an old Hillborn injector for it? Got one hanging on the wall. Oh. Oh. Got a blower down there too. Oh, isn't it a great afternoon? Oh. For which one? I was actually thinking I may not actually wind up using that. That real nice little Hillborn hat. Bought it for actually right behind me. I have a very vintage top fuel nitromethane engine that did not blow up, and yeah, it's one of those things that I came across super rare. Like literally, with the people in the know, there are two that exist. One of them is in a museum back east, and the other one is under my bench right here. And I've got the crankshaft over on that bench and all the goodies, and I want to build that top fuel engine back into a full nitro burning, flame throwing machine. Just for like car shows and whatnot, just because that would be freaking cool as. So, I paid $1,500. That's a 4-port Hillborn. I think it's got the barrel valve and injectors still. And yeah, I wouldn't look to make money off it, but yeah, that Hillborn, those 4-port Hillborns, the I always called them the kidney shaped, the weird shaped 4-port Hillborns. Yeah, those are getting very hard to find. And then the blower, It is an original GMC 671 that has not been milled or modified yet for street use. And it is very low hours. There is no scoring inside the case. And I was eventually going to send it out and have it prepped for street use, but it hasn't happened yet. So, yeah, if you want to run a blower, I think the rebuild cost on one of those is like $1,000. Um, yeah, local guy with a 671 for $200. Jump on that. Holy crap. Let me tell you, those 671s are the original 671 Detroits are getting very hard to find. That's why I held on to this one. If it's at all in decent condition, jump on that. $200 is dirt cheap. Absolute dirt cheap. I got a 57 Pontiac I need to put back together. Big block. Wife and father-in-law used to drag race. Sweet, brother. Get on that. 57 Pontiac. That's, dude, they're awesome. Not modified. He's got to jump on it. I believe I'd have to go back through my book. I cannot remember offhand who it is that it may be Dyers, but somebody's set up to do Detroit to street conversions. They do the Teflon strips. They reset up the bearing plates. Go through a whole process, milling the one side of the blower that overhangs, because it's got a little hook edge on it that hooks on the side of the engine block. And they mill the little hooks off the side of the blower. Do a whole bunch of other little things, but yeah, that's dang, jump on that. Jump on it. That little 283 would scream with a blower on it. Holy, might hurt it. Don't hurt the 283. Don't put the party pulley on. Yeah, I've been all through the world, drag racing, road racing, all kinds of cool shit. I make all kinds of stuff. I used to do custom fab work. In fact, right above my head, that's a carburetor base plate for a Ford tri-power base plate to run a street scoop on. I love the street scoops. Those are too effing cool. But yeah, that's a custom fabricated piece to run. I used to have a tri-power 390. And that, love the big street scoops. But yeah, I've played a whole lot with hot rods and big drag cars and all kinds of stuff. Boy, it's just getting so dang expensive anymore. It's unbelievable. I got one car back behind my shop. Want to build it into a little street machine. Serious street machine. 73 Hornet. I love AMCs, by the way. I love everything. I mean, come on now. All the manufacturers had some badass freaking iron back in the day. But I think AMC was actually really, really understated for what they were playing with. Like they had some really stout engines. They had some really, really stout engines. So yeah, I always dug AMC's. I got a 73 Hornet that I want to make into a sick little street machine. But man, the time involvement in getting some of that shit done, it's pretty serious. It really, like, I don't know, if I get a little bit better a little bit better income shortly, we'll see. I might jump back on that project I got right off camera. Dude, I would totally street freak that. Oh, you have no idea. I I wouldn't go so far as like the Hemi Gremlin on freaking Roadkill. That was a little much. When it's super tall, street freak. When it's kind of like uh Finnegan's 55 gasser, that's sick. That's sick. But yeah, right behind me, right behind the computer right here, I got a 12, 13, 1400 horse uh LSA build. It's a serious, very, very serious high comp engine. Yeah. But that S is getting expensive. But yeah, that's if I get that Hornet on the track, it's going to have a monster under the hood. It's going to have something straight up wild. Why? Because you need that kind of power. And hell yes, I'd street freak the shit out of that thing with a solid axle. Oh, shit, brother. I hear you. I know exactly what you're going through because I am too. Yep, I got divorced 10 years ago. 2 kids with my ex-wife. Thankfully, my ex-wife screwed herself at every turn through the entire process. And on top of that, I had a good lawyer. I totally know what you're saying, brother. Yeah, I thank God. Like I said, my dad was a rocket scientist. He made good fucking money. And he retired like a year before I got divorced. And he was bored. And my dad said, there's one fucking rule in divorce. You get the best goddamn lawyer you can fucking get. And it doesn't matter if it bankrupts you. You get the best fucking lawyer you can get, period. Because you can get fucking steamrolled in divorce. You can get just absolutely fucking murdered in divorce. Yeah. Goddamn right you do. Especially if they're crazy. So yeah, I got the best lawyer we could find. And actually she wasn't the most expensive. But yeah, my lawyer was previously a child advocacy judge. So yeah. Oh brother. Jesus. That I am so sorry, brother. That's yeah. My heart goes out to you, brother. That's I hope so. And it looks like you're making it. We all gonna make it. Everybody's gonna make it. I tell you, my son's turning 18 the end of or middle of October. So it's rough. That's one of the biggest freaking pains in life is going through that shit. It is terrible. The way it just drags you through the freaking court system, the way it shows you how, I don't know how it was for you. It showed me how incompetent, completely incompetent the court system is. It is just, it's a terrible joke. It really is. But that, rock on, brother. Rock the fuck on. That right there. You know, it's like me. Fucking work your way out of it. Just fucking whatever you got to do, just fucking build and work your way out. It is. Yep. Punch those fucking hours. Work that fucking shit. Yeah. That's kind of why I'm thinking about this whole millwright in a steel mill. Brother. I work in an industrial glass plant. We make beer bottles. Yeah. Molten glass. When you walk through the door and you see a sign that says caution, hot flying glass, holy mother of God, you stepped into a different world. I can't imagine a steel mill. Holy crap. That sounds like a damn fun job, though. Oh, yeah, I got to tell you, the heat. I don't know if you get into the heat part of it, but the heat of the glass plant just F's with my body. You got steel flying everywhere. Oh, it ain't right if something ain't flying somewhere. Something's got to be flying somewhere. 140 plus. Yep. I work on the cold side, which is routinely 110, 115, 120 on a good day. Yeah. Boy, it fucks with my body something fierce. Like my body is just like, I'm done trying to regulate this shit. Drink all the fucking water, stay hydrated, all the shit, and your body's just like, meh, I don't care anymore. Walk outside, 90-degree day, and it's like, oh, thank God for the cool air. Fuck. Yeah. Boy, that heat just, it's unreal. Like I even remember back in the day before I started working in a place like that. Used to tell the difference between a cold day and a warm day and a nice breeze and a this, and then now it's just like everything feels like burning. Feels like Satan's after you. Yeah, right? Boy, this 90-degree day is nice and cool, isn't it? God. Sweating like a, you know what alternative lifestyle in church. Yep. But yeah, that's why that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking about this whole fucking idea of making ammo. Yep. If I can cut back on the days that I'm spending at work and crank out ammo to sell. I don't know if you caught that treetop. One of my local custom ammunition manufacturing people here in the Denver metro is retiring, and they make a lot of old, obsolete ammunition, kind of stuff I shoot. And they're retiring, and I'm really Pretty much, yeah, I'm there. I'm gonna have to file for a license to manufacture ammo. I think they made a darn good living making custom ammunition and old west cartridges and obsolete milsurp cartridges and all that stuff. And yeah, if I can make a few bucks on the side, man, that's I'd say do it. You are the second person to jump on here and say do it. How can I say no? So yeah, that's if you were closer, I think we'd be good buddies. I'll tell you that. Cars and guns, aside from family, that's all I'm into. That's it. Ain't got no time for no drug addictions. My hobbies are way too expensive to get into drugs. Holy crap. Yeah, it's so yeah, that's my thought this week. Can I make a buck making ammunition? Because at the end of the day, we all got to make that buck. And when you got a family, the hard times are coming. Well, you do one of two things. You curl up in a ball and start sniveling in the corner, or you freaking knuckle under and you just get it done. Got the steering box in. Nice. Man, you're knocking that out. You're knocking that out. Get that fucker rolling. Yeah. It's been a long time. Like parked right out in front of my house. I got the baddest truck. No. One of the baddest trucks on earth. I've got a 2002 GMC 1-ton 2-wheel drive crew cab ramp truck. It's got an 18 or 19 foot Hodges bed on it, stretch chassis, full leather, full air ride. It's got the 8.1 Vortec. It's got the Allison automatic. And that freaking thing is like a Cadillac. It is so smooth. It hauls ass. It's probably, throughout my daily drivers and whatnot, it's probably the fastest thing I own. And it weighs 10,000 pounds. 5 tons. And that thing just takes off like a shot. It is the baddest truck on earth. I love that truck. Freaking love it. Hate the color. It's gold. Can't pick the color, but yeah, full leather, fully optioned. God, that thing is just like, I love that truck. It is badass. It is full air ride. That thing just floats down the freaking highway. It is so nice. It is. Yep. I bought that 3 years ago. I'm trying to get back into racing. I hung up my racing when my kids were born. Got to raise the kids, got to get that shit done. Can't be freaking wasting money. I was doing all this on the side. But I'm trying to get back into racing. And I said, I don't have the space for a truck and a trailer. So I'm getting a ramp truck. And I found this deal. It was 20 grand. Whew. Drove all the way out to Indy. Bought this fucking truck. It is just freaking gorgeous. My other badass truck is my big ass Brodozer. I got a 2000 Chevy, and it's a square body. It's 2000 was the last year of the square body in the 1-tons. It's a 1-ton crew cab short bed dually 4x4. And it's got, I think it's 2 inches of body lift and either 2 or 4 inches of suspension lift. And it's a monster, but it's a 454 and a 4L80. And boy, you can feel the difference between that 454 and that 8.1. It is huge. That 8.1 is so much better than a 454. But I may have hurt the motor on the 454, so tow rig is an 04 Ram with a Cummins. Can't beat a Cummins. The only thing I would change about that GMC is if it was a diesel. I'm not a diesel guy. I'm not a diesel fanboy at all. I grew up with gas. I run gas. Diesel has a purpose, and it's hauling. And if that GMC was a diesel, it'd be that much better. But let me tell you, that thing gets terrible gas mileage. Ooh, terrible gas mileage. But even for being a gas motor, that thing moves. It moves hard. I would take a Cummins, but yeah. Yep. And my daily driver is a little tiny S10, a 6'4" guy in a little tiny S10. Great gas mileage, and don't F with it. Drive it. That's it. Just drive it. It's your daily driver. Don't play with it. Yep, 16 miles a gallon. I wish mine got 16 miles a gallon. Driving back from Indy, I think I got 6 or 7 miles a gallon in that freaking ramp truck. Whew. Oh my God. 6 or 7 miles a gallon is terrible. But it's all good. I love it. I've moved everything with that. I've moved freaking car after car after car. Oh my God. I've moved so much shit with that. I moved a shed with that ramp truck. Girlfriend's mother bought a shed at an estate auction. They were like, what do we do now? Well, you back up to it and you freaking hook the winch around the base of it and you gingerly just tug it right up the ramp. Sure enough, went right the fuck up that ramp. And then you do about 20 miles an hour for about 20 miles because you don't want it to fall the fuck apart while you're driving. But yeah, that's I love that Ram truck. That thing's freaking great. Oh, they're fantastic. It is like the best all around. Just whatever the F you need to move, you got it. I moved little motorcycles on that thing. Just an excuse to drive it across the freaking state. Oh, yeah. I got a couple of vintage dirt bikes too, but good gosh. I love the little vintage dirt bikes, man. Those little vintage bikes are just fantastic. Girlfriend's got a super rare, just stupid rare little Honda Scrambler that her dad gave her. And it's on the list. Got to restore it. Yeah, I've got some old Yamahas. I've got a 74 DT100 fully restored, purple and silver colored, and a 74 MX100A factory race bike, YZ465. I wish I had something that massive. Good gosh. It would kill me. I'm not allowed to have motorcycles anymore. I'm way too irresponsible on two wheels. I think every stoplight is a drag race, and I have the power to weight ratio to do really bad things. And in preservation of the family, I am not allowed to have motorcycles. So, yeah, I've got 100cc little dirt bikes, and they're not a Hayabusa, but um, they're pretty quick. They're not slouches. On my little DT 100, I hit 70 miles an hour in my neighborhood. So I'm not allowed to have motorcycles because I'm irresponsible on two wheels. So yeah, that's just the way life is. Oh, 54 Chrysler New Yorker. Good gosh, that's a big body car. Thankfully, in my divorce, I really didn't have to sell much. Um, what I did sell will haunt me for the rest of my life because I had 3 SVT 40s. And if you know what that is, and you know how rare those are here in America, I had 3 of them. And accidentally, I sold all 3 of them. And it was an accident. I had one of them consigned at a gun shop, and talking to another guy at another gun shop. He wound up buying 2 of them, and I was like, okay, well, I can just go to the other gun shop and pull that out of consignment, and they sold it before I could get it out of consignment. And I went from 3 SVT 40s. They're hard enough if you want to find one. I found 3. Poof. Yeah. Good gosh. They can't even imagine how expensive they were in 95. What, probably $400 or $500. I found mine in probably 2009, 2010. First one, and paid $850 for it. And then found the others. One of them was just a barreled action, complete barreled action. And I managed to find a stock for it and slapped it all together, and probably had only about $600 in it total. Yeah. $349. God. Yeah. It's a great freaking rifle. Smooth as could be. Oh. Yep. That's how you accidentally sell all 3 of them. Mother. Never going to find those again. Let me tell you all about that. I think they're like 2,500 or $3,000 on Gunbroker. Can't do it. I'll just build a PSL. Well, shit. I have heard they're dirt cheap in Canada, and you'll never get one out of Canada. Oh, yeah, I hear they're about as cheap as a Mosin up in Canada. They imported a ton of them up there. What a shame. What a shame. Is what it is. It's the only game. Either play or walk away. Nope. Can't sneak them out. Amazing. They'll give us all that maple syrup. Can't take a gun. Yeah. One of my guns uses a Canadian proprietary cartridge. Evidently, there's a ton of brass up in Canada, but for some reason, America doesn't allow importation of it into the United States. Waiting for someone here in the States to pop up with some Canadian frickin' brass. Just stupid. Stupid. Gotta keep those weapons of war off the streets, don't you know? It's a 300 Imperial Magnum. A whole line of Imperial Magnum cartridges. They were designed back in the late 80s, early 90s. Big magnums. On par with the Remington Ultra Magnum. But yeah, I've got a rifle in 300 Imperial Magnum. And it's such a unique round. Like, there's nothing special about it. It's just a 30 caliber Magnum. But I'm like, someone went through all the trouble of building this rifle for the 300 Magnum. It just doesn't make sense to me to like rechamber it in something else. I kind of want to keep it the way someone wanted to make it. So I'm holding out for hope that someday I'm going to find 300 Magnum. No, there's not a parent case, but rumor is that it is the parent case for the rum. Evidently, Imperial Cartridge Company went out of business. Remington bought all the proprietary information and everything and created the rum off of the Imperial 300 Magnum. And the whole line of rum, there was a whole line of Imperial Magnum. You had 7mm, 300. Here's an odd one. They had 311, which I think is really effing cool because I shoot a lot of 311, 303 Brit, and 7.62 Russian, 311 standard. They have a 311 Magnum, the size of a rum. They do a 338 Imperial Magnum and 360 Imperial Magnum. So there's a whole line of Imperial Magnums. And when they went out of business, Remington bought all their intellectual property and then developed the rum line off of the Imperial Magnum line. But there's not a lot of information out there about it. Ironically, I can find more information about any wild ass whatever the frick cartridge out there. Imperial Magnum, there's like nothing. There's like 3 or 4 articles and that's it. There's almost no data, almost no information. It really just looks like something that came and went so fast that it is what it is. But it does use the same Magnum standard rim size. What was that about a 6.5 what? Don't retract it. I wanted to see. My 6.5. Yep. Yep. I like being different. Dare to be different. Yeah, that's trying to piggyback on a couple of ideas. During the 70s, the Russians created a 6.5 cartridge off the 54R that they used in Olympic competitions. So, buddy of mine started shooting 6.5 Creedmoor and gave me an excuse to build something new. And another buddy of mine had basically the same idea and had Pacific Tool Engage make chamber reamers and the whole nine for 6.5 Russian, and I had him do up a barrel for me. So yeah, that's I can't wait to get that to the range. I think that's going to be way cool. I have no idea what purpose I'm trying to fulfill with that, but I still love just a regular 30 cal 7.62 by 54R. That's one I've put a lot of time into kind of perfecting into a really slick shooter. So I'm gonna keep on with the 7.62 6.5. I don't like chasing fads. I'm not gonna go buy a new rifle. Um, Pacific makes the reamer for the 50. I have heard quite a bit about the 54R improved, and in fact, the I think the guy who initially um, kind of created the 54R as kind of an Ackley inspired um, case design. He's the same guy who does the 6.5. Yeah, I think his name is Adam. It's been 5 years since I've talked to him. Um, but yeah, I think he is the same guy who does the 6.5. He's got the little WordPress um, internet page. He did a 7mm. Some people's got a lot of time and patience for wildcats. You got to be dedicated to do wildcat stuff. That is, you want to talk about eating time. Just, good God. The one reason I looked into the 54R improved, and sure enough, they're accurate. They're hot and accurate. The one thing that I did not want to do is have one that um I didn't want to have one rifle out of the bunch that shoots the proprietary cartridge. I don't want to don't want to get into mixing up ammo and stuff like that. Um so I really kind of yeah, yep. I really kind of shied away and just tried to develop just the standard 54R to be kind of a sharpshooter. 50 by 20 Vulcan. That's a hot load. When I was in the Navy, we got to play with the 20mm phalanx. I don't know if you've ever seen a phalanx round. That's a pretty serious 20mm. Those are some monsters. I've always wanted to shoot one of those 20mm anti-tank guns, the ones that weigh like 50 pounds and come with skis and takes a team of 3 people to carry them into a site. I've always wanted to shoot one of those big monsters. That would probably put Kentucky Ballistics and his little toys to shame. Neck down to 50 caliber. That would be a smoking hot 50 caliber. Like, oh, that would be cooking. That would be just shit and get fucking cooking right there. God damn. Man, that would be a. Again, you got to be dedicated to those wildcats to do stuff like that. That takes so much time. When you talk about getting into barrel prep and action prep and all this stuff, like I am so glad I've got people in my life that do this stuff for a living for me, because my God, it's hard enough to think of normal stuff to do. Yeah, I think I still kind of do normie stuff. Like I'm not doing anything that crazy or special, but yeah, man, that would be a cooking freaking cartridge. That would be a lot of fun to shoot. Yeah, I love the wild big bore freaking rifles, just the wild ones. The anti-tank guns, the 50 cals, the Russian 50 cal guns. I think there's a Russian I want to say I think there's a Russian like 17 millimeter anti-materiel gun. There was a few Russian weird ones. Um, but yeah, that stuff I would really love to do that, but that takes a lot of money and a lot of time. That is just nothing but time. Hey Jacob, you have a great evening. I will catch you later. Stay tuned. So I think I'm gonna bail too there, treetop. It's about getting to be dinner time here, and I am getting hungry. So I will catch everybody on another day, and we'll see how this getting a federal firearms license thing goes, because this is going to be a thing. So I will catch everybody another time. Thank you for stopping in. Thanks for checking it out. And go check out Treetop Garage. Check out his gasser. That thing's gonna be wild. I think you need something like that. I think you know that. Catch you later, brothers. Bye.